Good morning. I'm going to start with a tablet by Abdu'l-Baha that I set to music and recorded with Ken LaRoche and put on my first album, which is called A Healing Wind. I'll see what I can do. O thou who art turning thy face towards God, close thine eyes to all things else and open them to the realm of the all-glorious. Ask whatever thou wishes of him alone. Seek whatever thou seekest of him alone. With a look he granteth 100,000 hopes. With a glance he healeth 100,000 incurable ills. With a nod he layeth balm on every wound. With a glimpse he freeth the hearts from the shackles of grief. He doeth as he doeth, and what recourse have we? What recourse have we? He carrieth out his will. He ordaineth what he pleaseth. Then better for thee to bow down thy head in submission, and put thy trust in the all-merciful God. Well, that was a little hard first thing in the morning. But I do have a really nice recording of it, much better than that. So if you want one, let me know and I'll send you one. It's a nice CD with musical prayers and writings. They're very healing for people who have lost loved ones, or people who are struggling or in poor health. I'd be happy to send you one if you'd like it. So I'm going to read it now. Apparently I didn't bring my small glasses, although I thought I did. So I'll just read it without them. O thou who art turning thy face towards God, close thine eyes to all things else, and open them to the realm of the all-glorious. Ask whatsoever thou wishest of him alone. Seek whatsoever thou seekest from him alone. With a look he granteth 100,000 hopes. With a glance he healeth 100,000 incurable ills. With a nod he layeth balm on every wound. With a glimpse he freeth the hearts from the shackles of grief. He doeth as he doeth, and what recourse have we? He carrieth out his will, he ordaineth what he pleaseth. Then better for thee to bow down thy head in submission and put thy trust in the all-merciful Lord. And that's from selections from the writings of Abu Baha, page 51. Here's a prayer by Baha'u'lláh. Suffer me not, O God, my God, to be kept back from the heaven of thy bounties and the day star of thy favors. I beseech thee by that word, through which thou hast subdued all things, visible and invisible, to assist me, and to assist thy chosen ones to accomplish that which shall exalt thy cause amidst thy servants and throughout thy regions. Do thou ordain for me then every good thing which thou hast sent down in thy book. Verily thou art the Almighty, the ever-forgiving, the most generous. The next one I'm going to read is from the Epistle to the Son of the Wolf by Baha'u'lláh. I like this prayer because it gives voice to my feelings sometimes when I feel as though people are turning away from the truth in any way, and I feel like I can't reach them. I say this prayer, and I usually include myself because I'm sure that in ways I do it too. O God, my God, debar not thy servants from turning their faces towards the light of certitude that hath dawned above the horizon of thy will, and suffer them not to be deprived, O my God, of the oceans of thy signs. They, O my Lord, are thy servants in thy cities, and thy slaves in thy lands. If thou hast not mercy upon them, who then will show them mercy? Take thou, O my God, the hands of such as have been drowned in the sea of idle fancies, and deliver them by thy power and thy sovereignty. Save them then with the arms of thy might. Powerful art thou to do what thou willest, and in thy right hand are the reins of all that is in the heavens and all that is on earth. Bahá'u'lláh. There's a quote from Compilations, Quickeners of Mankind, page 4. He says, "This day a door is opened wider than both heaven and earth." Okay, we're going to turn to our study of the Kitáb-Í-Iqán, the Book of Certitude. We're on page 44, and I want to say that if anybody has comments, questions, additions, commentary, please feel free to type it in. And now comprehend the meaning of this verse from the Quran. The whole earth shall on the resurrection day be but his handful, and in his right hand shall the heavens be folded together. Praise be to him, and high be he uplifted. Above the partners they join with him. And now be fair in thy judgment. Were this verse to have the meaning which men suppose it to have, of what profit, one may ask, could it be to man? Moreover, it is evident and manifest that no such hand as could be seen by human eye could accomplish such deeds, or could possibly be ascribed to the exalted essence of the one true God. Nay, to acknowledge such a thing is naught but sheer blasphemy, an utter perversion of the truth. And should it be supposed that by this verse are meant the manifestations of God, who will be called upon on the day of judgment to perform such deeds, this too seemeth far from the truth, and is surely of no profit. On the contrary, by the term earth is meant the earth of understanding and knowledge, and by heavens, the heavens of divine revelation. Reflect thou how in one hand he hath by his mighty grasp turned the earth of knowledge and understanding previously unfolded into a mere handful, and on the other spread out a new and highly exalted earth in the hearts of men, thus causing the freshest and loveliest blossoms and the mightiest and loftiest trees to spring forth from the illumined bosom of man. So, if you're just joining us, we're reading from the Kitáb-Í-Iqán, the Book of Certitude by Baha'u'lláh, where he's talking about prophecy. And in this paragraph, he's talking about prophecy from the Quran, but there are many such prophecies in other faiths as well, especially in the Bible, where the prophecy is that on the day of resurrection, the whole earth will be but his handful, and in his right hand shall the heavens be folded together. So Baha'u'lláh is saying this is not literal. Wake up, people. This is not literal. That when he talks about the earth, he's talking about the earth of the understanding and knowledge of human beings. And he's saying that what our understanding has been in past cycles is going to give way to new understanding and knowledge. And then he's saying that, and by heavens being folded up, doesn't mean the sky. He means the revelations that come from God, from the divine messengers such as Buddha and Christ. And there have been many. He says that the knowledge that they brought is going to pale in significance compared to the knowledge that now we have for this day. It's not that the things they said weren't true, but it's that we need more today. And I spoke about this yesterday, how in Baha'u'llah's revelation, yes, he supports the divine knowledge brought by Christ and Muhammad and Buddha and all of the others. But he brings more. For instance, he brings the teaching of the equality of women and men. He brings the teaching of the harmony of science and religion, how they can be harmonized. He brings the teaching of the obligatory education of all children in the world. He brings the teaching of divine justice. He says, the best beloved of all things in my sight is justice. Turn not away therefrom if thou desirest me. He brings the teachings of the abolishment of the extremes of wealth and poverty, and a spiritual solution to the economic problem. And many other teachings that are relevant to today's world that we need to understand come from God. So he brings it with the authority of God. Now we're going to go on. In like manner, reflect how the elevated heavens, again, he's talking about the revelations that come from these divine messengers. In the dispensations of the past, the dispensations are the teachings and the time allotted to each divine messenger. For instance, Christ's dispensation was from the time of Christ to the time of Muhammad, which was 600 odd years. Muhammad's revelation lasted 1,200 years till the declaration of the Bab. And I don't know how long it was between Moses and Jesus, but that was the dispensation of Moses. Reflect how the elevated heavens, or the revelations, of the dispensation of the past have, in the right hand of power, been folded together. How the heavens of divine revelation have been raised by the command of God, and been adorned by the sun, the moon, and the stars of his wondrous commandments. He's talking about his revelation. Such are the mysteries of the Word of God, which have been unveiled and made manifest, that haply thou mayest apprehend the morning light of divine guidance, mayest quench by the power of reliance on God and reliance on his messenger, which in this day is Baha'u'lláh, and renunciation of ourselves, of our selfishness. The lamp of idle fancy, our erroneous ideas about reality. And this is one of the things that the manifestation of God comes to correct. He comes to tell us what is real and what is not, so that we can have something to align ourselves with, so that we can measure what we're doing. Otherwise, we're like blind men walking in a forest where there's a cliff. We don't know what's good and what isn't. And we're struggling to figure that out. Well, the divine messenger of God brings those teachings. It makes it a lot easier for those who want to conform themselves to the will of God. Of vain imaginings, to things that we believe that just aren't true. Of hesitation and doubt. And mayest kindle in the inmost chamber of thine heart the newborn light of divine knowledge and certitude. So when we turn and give our hearts to the manifestation of God for the age in which we live, something happens to us. I have seen this. I remember when my brother-in-law became a Baha'i, when he finally decided that he was going to sign on, I saw a light come into his eyes that had never been there before. It was an amazing experience. Know verily that the purpose underlying all these symbolic terms and abstruse allusions, which emanate from the revealers of God's holy cause, hath been to test and prove the peoples of the world, that thereby the earth of the pure and illuminated hearts may be known from the perishable and barren soil. From time immemorial, such hath been the way of God amidst his creatures, and to this testify the records of the sacred books. So what he's saying there is, you might ask, why in their holy books do these manifestations use these metaphors that confuse people? And what he's saying here is that one of the reasons they use these metaphors, I think they use them for many reasons, because Baha'u'lláh says that all of these words have multiple meanings, including his own. First of all, it's a beautiful way of speaking. Secondly, it's a way that God tests us. So he's not necessarily just going to, he wants to test the purity of our hearts. And this is one way that he does it. All right, I'm going to end there. I'll end with a few more prayers. I'm going to say the prayer for the northeastern states revealed by Abdu'l-Baha, which we're supposed to say every day. The believers in the Northeast, we're supposed to say it every day. So I do. I say it every day. O thou kind Lord, praise be unto thee, that thou hast shown us the highway of guidance. Open the doors of the kingdom and manifested thyself through the Sun of reality. To the blind, thou hast given sight. To the deaf, thou hast granted hearing. Thou hast resuscitated the dead. Thou hast enriched the poor. Thou hast shown the way to those who have gone astray. Thou hast led those with parched lips to the fountain of guidance. Thou hast suffered the thirsty fish to reach the ocean of reality. And thou hast invited the wandering birds to the rose garden of grace. O thou Almighty, we are thy servants and thy poor ones. We are remote and yearn for thy presence, are athirst for the water of thy fountain, are ill, longing for thy healing. We are walking in thy path and have no aim or hope save the diffusion of thy fragrance, so that all souls may raise the cry of, O God, guide us to the straight path. May their eyes be opened to behold the light, and may they be freed from the darkness of ignorance. May they gather around the lamp of thy guidance. May every portionless one receive a share, and may the deprived become the confidants of thy mysteries. O Almighty, look upon us with a glance of mercifulness. Grant us heavenly confirmation. Bestow upon us the breath of the Holy Spirit, so that we may be assisted in thy service, and like unto brilliant stars, shine in these regions with the light of thy guidance. Verily thou art the powerful, the mighty, the wise, and the seeing. And I've been saying the prayer for America a lot. This prayer was revealed by Abdu'l-Baha when he was in this country, and he prays for the spiritualization of our country. He praises our country, and I assume that he's praising our form of government because it allows a voice to the people. Here it is. I think we need to be praying for our country a lot. O thou kind Lord, this gathering is turning to thee. These hearts are radiant with thy love. These minds and spirits are exhilarated with the message of thy glad tidings. O God, let this American democracy become glorious in spiritual degrees, even as it has aspired to material degrees. And render this just government victorious. Confirm this revered nation to upraise the standard of the oneness of humanity, to promulgate the most great peace, to become thereby most glorious and praiseworthy among all the nations of the world. O God, this American nation is worthy of thy favors and is deserving of thy mercy. Make it precious and near to thee through thy bounty and bestowal. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. Hope to see you soon.